Thank you guys.
Bobo!
We haven't started yet.
It's cool.
Yo, is that from Banana Republic?
Alright guys, thank you for a little bit of your time. Greatly appreciate it. I know you're very busy, and we're looking forward to seeing you guys play tonight. So I'm just going to jump right in. I got about 6 or 7 questions. Here we go. Cool. So, covers. So you guys have done some covers. I've seen Maggie Kerner in the group on a couch with some amazing vocals.
Oh yeah,
by you, by the way. That was pretty sweet. I've seen
So like circa 2011 or so.
Katy Perry. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We watched the Jam in the Van that you guys did.
Yeah,
Did
that was
the
a lot of
song.
fun.
My mom and I watched that together. She sang every word of it. It's pretty cool. And Jam in the Van.
We get a lot of compliments on
Yeah,
that
my
jam
dad
band.
loves that one too. I
The
think it's
stripped down stuff, it's a lot of fun. Usually knock it out of the park when we do that, I'd say, right?
The strip
Well, you
down
strip
is
it
like
down
really
to the bare
it's-
bones, and then you build it up. You know, it's easier than just coming at it full force.
well, there's 7 of us, so even when you strip it down to the bare bones, there's still a lot of bones
It's
in
still
there.
at least 20 strings.
Big old
being
pile of
played.
bones.
Yeah.
So, and also maybe we heard a little bit of cover stuff earlier, kind of being. We'll edit that part out.
Oh yeah.
So what's kind of that? How do covers happen? Somebody comes and says, "Hey, we had this idea," or
A lot of times, yeah. So for individual covers that we do, it's just somebody will say, "Hey, let's do that," and then if everybody's in the right kind of mood, everybody will be like, "Yeah, let's do it," and then we'll do it.
But if
And-
they're not, they'll be like, nah, man.
It turns into like everybody else suggesting songs that they want to do instead, and then nothing gets done. But the other way is we often choose a group to do for Halloween every year as like a kind of a musical costume, and so we usually take a band that we love and do a bunch of their songs, and then choose 1 or 2 to keep doing throughout
And then
the year.
there'll be one that'll just stick.
We've done a few in the past where they become part of the regular set, but we pretty much know if something hits if we played it 3 or 4 times, and other times we'll shelf it. So it gets an opportunity, we played a few times, and then we haven't played again. Other times we'll bring it back if there might be a theme to the night or where we're playing, we might try and pay homage to that area or an artist from there and do something related to that.
Usually if we're in a sound check and somebody just starts playing a song and everybody else starts playing along, that's usually a pretty good sign that we might all agree on this.
Yeah, I feel like our best covers are sometimes the ones that we just kind of
Randomly,
back into.
yeah,
and
randomly
like,
play. Yeah.
I guess we cover Forgot About Dre now.
Yeah.
so somebody starts playing on stage and everybody.
Yeah,
no objections come up and everybody's on their instrument. Then it sounds like
We started playing Johnny Be Good because in the middle of a set in St. Louis one time, Zach just started playing the riff from it. And we'd never played it together before. We were like, okay.
All right, that's fine.
And it actually kind of worked.
Yeah. Super cool. So 2013, I believe, was when the kind of festival period started to happen. You guys have mentioned how you've done a lot of festivals. What's been some of the favorite? There's so many out there, a lot of Palooza, all these different ones. Like, what's
First
a couple
Bonnaroo
highlights?
was amazing. First Jazz Fest was 2010. That's our home festival. That was incredible.
This year's Jazz Fest was great too.
yeah,
We finally
'cause
moved up to the Acura
Acura
stage,
stage.
which is the kind of the main stage. We played right before Dave Matthews and Tim Reynolds. And
That was
these
great.
guys are big heroes of ours.
Each one has always got like a good story behind it,
I'm gonna say
High Sierra.
Yeah,
High
I was gonna say
Sierra.
High Sierra. Yeah, High Sierra is really great. It's up in the mountains outside
So Robert
Central
Plant there.
California.
And that's where the Jam in the Van got.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
One
that's
of them.
right.
One
You've got a bunch of different kinds of festivals, right? So you've got like your Bonnaroo or Outside Lands or bigger festivals like that, or Jazz Fest, to put in that category, that are these great festivals that people come from all over and you play to new people. And then you've got ones that are more community festivals, like a High Sierra, where it's like a similar community of a lot of the same people that come back every year to be with their friends, and both of those vibes are really unique and different.
Walking
and I really love
festivals
both
kind
of
of got
them.
that feel too.
Yeah.
We
Where,
did our
like,
first
Rocket's a big-
ACL this year, Austin
ACL
City
was fun.
Limits, which was probably one of the better sets we had all year for sure.
The best thing about these festivals, though, is like, you go around the country, say you do a show here with a band that you become friends with and a show there. Eventually, you all start meeting up back at festivals. There's sort of like, just
Summer
like
camp
I
bands.
always like to say festivals are great because you get to see all your friends again. You know what I mean? Everybody's
like a
always
reunion.
touring, and it's
it's
like
the
a
same reason the
reunion,
fans
you know.
like them.
It's the only time I ever get
Yeah.
to see Jen Hartswick is whenever we're playing the same festival together, and that's always a good day.
Yeah.
She comes to Mobile frequently.
Oh yeah.
Actually, I think she was actually recently granted honorary citizenship.
Really?
By the mayor.
They need to give her a key to
that's
this
nice.
place.
Yeah, I think she actually may have got one.
She got the
Yeah,
key?
yeah.
Oh wow.
That's great.
She got a
Honorary-
certificate
For her
and all.
birthday.
That's awesome.
She's got honorary citizenship.
Well, it's
in
my
heart.
birthday tomorrow. Where's my key?
Right. We got some stuff for you.
You,
in the
you
finger
know
box.
Jen Hartswick?
That's true.
So you guys, can we next year going into festival season, we can expect to see you on a couple, probably, I would imagine.
Yeah, I have
There's
no
a
idea
few
what
that's
yet,
been
but,
booked already.
Yeah,
but
when you
we'll
look at
leave
the
it at
schedule, once you get time to,
Yeah.
because y'all finish up
We'll-
tour, I think.
we'll be around.
soon.
Next week.
Next week.
Yeah. This weekend is our last
This
kind of
is
shows
kinda-
before New Year's.
Regroup and then
Yeah,
go.
this is
into
sort of the end of
2018.
tour for a little while.
Right.
Yeah.
That's great. So of course we can't do an interview without talking a little bit about the Redheads. So it's this diehard community of fans that you have called Redheads. Who was the very first Redhead?
That's a great question.
It was
I know.
Dave's friend. What's his name? The
Who?
guy who started the group.
Brandon.
Brandon. Yes.
I
It was.
think there are people before we even had a name for it.
Yeah.
Oh,
that
well,
were-
you mean in the
Yeah.
actual group?
Yeah.
There's-
Yeah,
That's
that's
interesting.
There was a
That's
Zach
much
Evans.
enhancement.
Zach Evans was an original Rev Head from.
Dave
I
Glass.
think,
see
Dave Glass.
Emily and Ashley.
and Ashley from Pensacola.
Dave
First
Glass.
two revivalist tattoos.
Yeah.
They would make a claim for it.
Yeah, and that would be a tough one to dispute.
We're gonna let the Rev Heads decide.
Yeah.
We're not gonna decide.
Who was the first one? Go.
Yeah, right.
We
Fight.
wanna know. What's the relationship like with the group outside of the shows that you play at? You know, of course.
Our group?
Yes, your group.
We met
friends.
in college.
Yeah.
We
No. I mean, I'm sorry. what's the relationship between you guys and the Rev Heads
Oh.
outside of the
Yeah.
show? Of course, during the show, that's a
You know,
big
some
part
have
of it.
become friends, and over time, and they're always, you know, we do this thing called the Redhead Ball every year now, and that's always a treat. It's kind of a strip down. We do it in the round, and that's all Rev Heads. It's become something where, you know, you recognize all the faces at this point because they really do show in full force a lot, which is great. It's great. You know,
We love them. I
you
mean,
see a lot of
they
the same faces.
and like just our relationship with them, just to add on that is, I mean, you get to recognize them, you get to know them, but also we so much appreciate their support of us because we need them, you know, like, and like, you know, that's why we get to keep going and doing this is because we have people that it matters to, and so we are equally grateful to them for their support of us as they might be to us. for
They allow
music.
us to do what we love
this
to
is
do.
all on their own. We've had zero say or anything that they do, and they really like to team up, and they do like Secret Santas.
Yeah,
They
I'm
have
always
lots of
together
people stay with each
before
other
shows.
when
Yeah,
they,
I'm always-
they visit us in different cities and stuff. It's great.
They're
Yeah,
more
that's
of a
what I'm
band
always
than we
really
are.
impressed with. It's just like how robust the community is and how much they all know each other and do the swap. And like Secret Santa, like George says.
Fun things.
They
All
all
the
have
stories-
dinner together before like shows. They have like little meetups, and even
really
people
cool.
who haven't met, they'll meet up, you know, in towns that they just happen to be in just because they know each other through the group.
I've heard some stories. It's not uncommon for them to, you know, end up getting hotels together, crashing together, like
Yeah,
go
sure,
food
sure.
together, becoming
For
friends
sure.
together.
Often
great community.
by happenstance at the same hotel we're at,
Yeah.
and then we're in the elevators together. It's just a big party.
Party. That's awesome. Okay, so I'm gonna go through a few more questions. New Orleans. So I think that most everyone knows the story sort of now. You guys went to, you know, came there for school and sort of came together as a product of that. What's something about New Orleans? What's a slice of this story that maybe we haven't heard before? What's something kind of New Orleans that you can give us? You know, as it relates
I
to
always
you?
go straight to the fact that in New Orleans, I think of it as less of like a music scene and more of a community where there's this really long-standing tradition of kind of patronage and
Support.
yeah, like more established artists sort of reaching down and pulling people up instead of saying, oh, there's not enough room here, you know.
And
Yeah, it's so saturated, and you know the community didn't really need to accept us, but they totally did, and with open arms, which was amazing for when we were first starting our career. We really got accepted by people that we looked up to. All of a sudden, we were playing right alongside them, and
Right here.
everybody's got a smile on their
we
face.
opened for Government Mule here a few years ago. I mean, that came from us like touring with Rebirth. That came from us touring with Galactic and taking these steps forward over years.
I remember one
Right
late night
here.
jazz fest show. We had like 27 sit-ins
Oh, geez.
or something.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a community where everybody plays together.
Really come full circle because a lot of us came to town to want to get into music, and I've had people come up to me and say, "Hey, me and my group of friends, we moved to New Orleans to get into music the way you guys did, and we saw that you could do it. We're like, why the hell can't we do this?" So that was really cool.
And there were you know, generations before us that did the same thing.
Galactic,
Galactic,
similar
very
story.
similar story.
Just like
you know,
10,
and they were
15 years ahead of
they're our
us.
older brother band. I
Yeah.
mean, they really took us under their wing.
And it's really
Lucky.
it's something that is it's supported by both the musicians who are currently in the scene and in part of it, and it's really supported by like the people in the city that are not musicians that value it as much as the musicians and go see it. They go out on a Tuesday night to slam out, you know, multiple weekly gigs, and it's the people who are in the audience are equally a part of the music. That's why the music that comes from New Orleans is so heavily live based. It's like this communication of, you know, 10 horn players and, you know, 4 different drummers and all these people coming together with a room full of people, and everybody's moving together and experiencing the same thing, but it wouldn't be what it is without the people, without the audience, you know.
And if
so,
you go to the Maple Leaf, like everybody knows each other, musician, audience member, you know, everybody's the same.
Staff.
The staff, they all hang out together, they all, you know, have a beer together, and then
Lots of hangs.
they go and do their thing. Some people are working, some people are listening, some people are playing.
some people are hanging out in the back.
So we had the record company played here.
Yay!
Not
Love
too
those
long
guys.
ago, and I had the opportunity to talk to Chris Voss before the show and talk to him, and the Revivalists came up, and because I asked him about you guys, you and Marcus King and them kind of, you're all in the same label group, I believe. And so I wanted to tell you what Chris said about you guys. I actually said, what is it about David Shaw or Marcus King that you would share with the world that isn't already known? And I was thinking, you know, lead singer, we kind of talk about that. And he didn't talk about David Shaw, he talked about the Revivalists. So I wanted to kind of just tell you what he said. And he said, so what is it about David Shaw or Marcus King that you could share with the world that isn't already known? And his response was, well, we're all 3 on the same label group. We're in it together. And then he said that you guys were freaking ridiculously kind people.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and that you were amazing songwriters, that you care about your audience, that you care about the bands that you play with, you care about the quality of show that you put on, and that you are extremely down-to-earth guys. He went on to say you can walk right up to them and be completely at ease. And they are funny. They are freaking hilarious.
We feel the same way about both
Nice.
Marcus King and the record company. I mean, those guys are like, whenever we get together, we end up
Really sing
going to this
karaoke.
karaoke bar and just singing karaoke all night long. Those guys are a riot. And the same thing can be said about them. The first time before we met them, we'd heard of them, and we played the same festival, and I walked over to catch their set with Zach, and we were just blown away by the 3 of them putting on this ridiculous show. And I mean, we've known Marcus for years, but I mean, he's the same way. Those guys are
They're
absurd.
in it
It's
for the
almost
right reasons.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
absurd.
right.
We're in the same conversation with them. You know, like these guys. I feel like they're coming from different places, but it all works together with it. Like they were saying, we're in it together.
Yeah, I really like that he said we're in it together, because that's what I feel like is kind of one of the most important things about being in music, especially like where we all are right now, is that we're all trying to kind of help each other out and
Everybody
be on the
thinks
same
that,
team.
you know, being a musician is like the world is so big. The world is actually so small. When
There's
you
not
get to
many
a
people that
certain
can relate
point.
to you
Yeah,
either,
it's
so
so
it's
small.
always
And when you meet people like that who are like exactly like you, they work hard, they love music, and they're just, you know, great guys to be around. You know, you hold on to that. You really do.
I'd like to throw Moon Taxi in there as well.
Those are buds too.
Yeah, super cool. Well, there's actually a band that I don't know that you've met yet, but I had to throw their name out there because I was talking with their lead singer the other night, and I was telling him that I was going to be interviewing you guys, and it's a band called SUSTO.
Oh, yeah.
And Justin Osborne told me to tell all of you hello. I don't think y'all met him yet.
No, but I
he
like
said
their music
he's
a
looking
lot.
for-
Mutual friends.
Yeah, he said he's looking forward to meeting all you guys. So I'll
Awesome.
give a little shout out to SUSTO.
Shout out to
Hey.
SUSTO. I've listened to your music
Hello.
and heard nothing but great things about your live show. And I like the music. It's great.
So whenever Chris finished the conversation about what he thought about the Revivalists and what he thought about the Marcus King band, he started to mention that the first time they met Marcus King was actually here at a show in Mobile.
Cool.
So I thought that was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Kind of leads me to ask you, how has Mobile treated you guys so far?
We've been coming to Mobile a long time.
It's great. Go ahead.
That's it. They treat us great. We've been coming
Yeah,
here a long
Played
time.
here at a spot called Boo Radley's
Yes.
at first. Does that still exist?
Yes.
Is that
We're going there later.
Is that
Is that the two-layer
It's a
one?
double layer.
Yeah, I fell off stage. Remember?
Got drunk and dropped
So,
the
yeah.
stool.
But
So-
yeah, it's interesting because we played New Orleans a lot. We went to Pensacola a lot, and that was like our second home. So like, second.
Yeah.
So we didn't have these gigs in Mobile at the beginning, and eventually we kind of pieced it together and put in this middle piece. And that, as soon as that started happening, it was like, okay, there's a distinct feeling here of the fans, of the people. It's separate from New Orleans. It's separate from Pensacola. It's got its own thing here. And yeah, it's been great. I mean, to come to, like we were saying, the shows at like O'Daly's and shows at,
Even
Boo
Daly's,
Radley's.
Boo Radley's,
Happy Harbor.
Callahan's.
Happy Harbor.
What's the one that had
Yeah, it
the
was the one
ice
we
bar?
played a bunch of.
Was that it?
That
That
was
was
in
Montgomery.
Montgomery.
Oh,
The
it's
Soul
Yeah, we've been to
Kitchen
the
we
Soul
played a
Kitchen
few
a bunch of
times.
times.
Soul
Yeah.
Kitchen.
Y'all played there. Y'all played here most recently, right? Or was it
No.
Soul
I think it was the
Show
Soul
at
Kitchen.
Soul Kitchen.
Yeah,
Most
maybe
recently
on
was the Soul
Halloween.
Kitchen.
It was right around Halloween.
Last year, yeah.
Yeah, it was right around
They haven't
Halloween.
been here
We-
since Dorn.
With Jen
love the Gulf
Hartswick.
Coast, though. So
What do you look
great
forward
for us.
to? What do you look forward to then coming to Mobile other than the stage, obviously?
Playing to the crowd.
Yeah. I mean, the
Old
people,
school
it's all
fans.
Yeah,
about the people.
Mobile's a great show. It's just, it's another Southern show. It feels kind of like a hometown show because, we've been coming here for so long. We get some of the Pensacola crowd, probably a bit of the New
Yeah, a lot-
Orleans
lot of
crowd. I
people
know I see
travel.
some of the,
We're gonna see a lot of.
and of course the
familiar
Mobile
faces.
crowd. I'm not trying to.
In terms of like hanging in Mobile, oftentimes when we finish the shows, if we're like not continuing our tour, we're going home. So like we need a good opportunity to do like an all-nighter in Mobile.
Tonight's the night.
I think bus calls at 2 a.m. But until 2
That's all right.
a.m.
Ricky
all
Alvarez.
night until 2
I
a.m.
don't know. You kind of just promised the people. I guess we're gonna have to push back the bus.
Oh,
call here.
this will come out after we leave.
On the subject of the crowd.
Was that?
On the subject of the crowd. So another thing that Chris Voss talked about was this thing that he labeled a while back in an interview called circular giving. And y'all, if y'all got,
Oh, yeah.
I
So
think I know what that means.
Yeah.
you want to maybe take a shot at it?
We
Well,
talk about this all the time.
Yeah, we give to them, they give to us, and it's like it makes like a feedback loop where, once we're wild, they can get wild, and then we can get wilder off of theirs, and what have
Somebody's
you.
got to start it up, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to
Yeah,
get that
so we got.
spark
So I feel
going.
like you always got to come out swinging.
Yeah.
Johnny Vodakovich one time put this to me just in terms of drums by saying like, when you hit the drum, it pushes out this wave of sound that people hear and they think, oh, that's cool. But the wave is also hitting your body, so you're pushing these molecules out to hit these people's bodies. So you're trying to move them around the room, and then they move, and they're pushing it back to you. And that kind of thinking about it in that way is like. It was, I think, the first time somebody had like sort of musically explained the feedback loop of circular giving.
Just blew my mind.
Hey, he blew my mind too.
So
Johnny Vodakovich.
The short story of circular giving is that the band needs the audience, like the
Yeah.
audience needs the
Oh,
band.
totally.
And as soon as we can reach the point in the show where there is an exchange of emotion both ways, then
Yeah.
it's going to do nothing but elevate it to a
And
high
you
level.
can, it should be noted that you can do this in a room full of 10 people. It doesn't have to be a huge room. Like, if 10 people show up to see you play, those 10 people deserve a better show than the, other people who didn't. There's
Let's
so
call it
many.
equal. Let's call it they deserve an equal show.
No, but I'm saying they deserve. There's 10 people came and they care. They really deserve a great
Done
show.
in front of 10 people and 10,000 people.
Yeah,
So-
yeah, 10 or 10,000.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
It's been our motto.
Well, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So I'm going to throw a couple things out there as kind of like a little speed round and see if you can tell me whose quote this is.
Oh.
One is, that's what taught us how to do a live show. I'll tell you that much. That's how we learned how to get a crowd going, opening for Rebirth.
Bill Murray.
David Shaw.
Oh.
I can see them right here. I'm not going to get involved in this.
And then another one is
it all us?
I want to live in that world where it's professional music and I'm with my friends and we're playing a show. Who's that? Who's the author?
Rob.
Maybe Mike.
Zach. I was gonna guess Zach. Yeah.
So a lot of the interviews that you guys have done have been Zach and David. I think you've been in a couple. I'm sure all of you have been in some, but the majority of them kind of tended towards Zach and David. So I was ready for them, but I'll get.
No, that's okay.
So I think that's about all I have, guys. Just wanted to close out. We're gonna open the box up here in a second.
Okay.
Before we get to the box,
For the first time.
I want to say that there's a lot of talk right now about the success of the Revivalist. Something that we hear in media, something that we hear in the music industry. You know, that there's some success going on here with the Revivalist, and at one point it was described by the band as being a combination and a culmination. I'll start over.
Yeah.
So,
Combination and the
success for you guys, in your own words, has been described as a combination and a culmination. And a combination was sort of in a way referring to some reorganization of management and some new attention and some new focus and some new drive, combined with the culmination of all the work that you guys had already been doing to grow your fan base. So, what is
Yeah,
that?
it took us 10 years to be an overnight success. That's the best
what they've been
way to
saying.
put it. I mean, it's just a lot of hard work, and you know, we used to think that we should have got a shot 5 years ago, but I'm glad that we put in the hard work, because now I think if you put us in any situation, we're going to be able to know how to handle that and do it well. And it took some work to get to that point, not only musically, but you know, just organization-wise. And you know, we've been working really hard, and our ticket just got pulled. You know, we really, it's a lot of luck and hard work.
taking
And
advantage
just
of
always be a nice guy.
opportunities.
Yeah, always be a nice guy too.
There's that. And we're just because we're at a certain point now doesn't mean we're willing to work less hard. There's different ways to work hard now. We're kind of figuring out what this new garnered success and this new level where we're at, what we're gonna have to do to make it even better, to keep it propelling it forward.
Yeah, you really have to step it up every time, you know, because as a music fan, as a musician, like, there's bands that I really like that put out records that I think are good that I don't fall in love with for whatever reason. You know, it's hard to make somebody really care. So no matter what you've already done, you still have to make them care all over again. And like, or at least if you come at it like that, you don't back off. You double down to make it, try and figure out more creative, more whatever, you know, change the direction, make it interesting for the people that have been there for the whole time.
And we double down because we love what we do. And this isn't work. You know, if you love what you do, it's not work. And that's why we do this. We live this like all day, every day. And I feel like that's, you know, a lot of hard work has also been a lot of fun for us. So it's been a real great ride.
The other thing is, like, interpersonally, it's hard to make a band last 10 years. And if you can make it last 10 years when you're in a van, then it's going to be easier to make it last 10 more years when you're in a bus. You know, it's like you have to figure out a lot of things. I think some you know, you write a record, you get a hit song, you go out there, you do it for 2 years, you do another record, you do it for 2 more years, and then people are kind of like, well, what am I going to do? Like, they get burnt and the band breaks up or whatever. But we've kind of had to navigate a lot of these things underground, out of the limelight of anybody looking, and that was actually, I think, a benefit to us, to be able to work through just the growing pains of 7 guys being in a van or a bus or just in a group for 10 years.
I like what George said one time when they were like, "What's it like touring with your 6 best friends?" He was like, "It's like touring with 6 wives." That's what it's like.
Everybody's different, you
Yeah.
know, and everybody has
You
certain
know-
things that push buttons and stuff like that. We're pretty chill. We don't have any we'll fight like an old married couple, but it's
Yeah.
never a real fight.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
It's more- Danger
It's
of
more
Yeah,
about
it's
whether we're eating Korean or going to get fucked.
Yeah, it's like brothers putting each other in headlocks. You know, it's not, there's no
And then
real
kicking
danger.
each other down the
It's
stairs.
something people ask about all the time. It's something we never really.
Indian
We don't think about it. We just do it.
Right,
You know,
right.
we exist together and we cohabitate amicably. It's just not. It's never been like an issue. Never had to think about it.
The final Zach quote: "Feel secure where you are and put more time in on your craft. There's plenty of room for growth." And when I heard that, I related that to this thing that I always say all the time, which life is a process that we can only do one day at a time. And it sounds like that's what you guys have done. You've been fortunate enough to have the time now that you spent together to make that bond, both emotionally and musically, and now it comes out, of course. good
But
for everyone.
in just to comment on the first part of that, the be secure where you are. I mean, we got through years of doing this together, but like you have to be secure where you are to put yourself out there with new people to be able to, you know, put something out there to latch onto to create a bond. You know, we were friends in college, but like, you know, you start making music together, and you have to really not be afraid to put yourself in there. And so that I think is great advice for anybody looking to do it, is, you know, be secure where you are and put in the time in your craft. You know, the business wise, be secure where you are is hard to do a lot, but like, you know, in terms of the art, it's equally important.
Hard work always beats talent. So.
Patience.
Yeah.
But if you got both,
Oh,
that
yeah.
works out pretty
Look
good.
out.
too. Yeah.
They call you Marcus.
All right, well, if you don't mind, pass me the Fender box.
What's in the box?
I've got some things for you guys.
Oh boy.
You're good.
Okay, here we go. So, I started this with David, and I gave him 3 gifts because there was 3 of them. You guys, it's a lot fucking harder.
Yeah.
So we went all out, and
Just take
I
everybody
think you're
else's
gonna like it.
stuff.
So first, we have a deck of cards. There's 7. There's going to be 14 items total. There's going to be 2 for each person.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so here's a deck of cards, and
Great.
you don't have
I
to
don't think
choose
it's
now.
that bad. Yeah.
I'm going to
We'll
give you
figure out-
everything, and then y'all can
Christmas.
divvy amongst the band after.
Great.
Yeah.
This
Show
is
it to the
so
camera.
Here is a bar of tea tree soap.
Ooh,
Oh,
I want that.
yeah.
I'm
I'll take the
Here's a
bet.
sticker from a band that some friends of mine that live out in the country.
Off
the Grid. Awesome.
They're called Off the Grid. Yeah. This is some expanding boxer briefs.
Yeah, I'll take that. Yeah.
Can you show those to the kid? You mind showing this to the kid?
Batman expanding boxer briefs. We'll see. Hopefully, it expands bigger than this. I don't think.
You could put them on Miles.
It's a large. You'll be all right.
All right.
Yeah. This is something that grows out of the earth. I'm just going to toss that over there.
Hey, Earth stuff.
Yeah, this is actually a CD that a guy gave me in a parking lot at like 3 a.m. the last time I went to a gentleman's club.
Dude.
Oh, awesome!
Dude.
I never listened to it.
Show the camera the
So
cover,
much
Rob.
dibs.
Show the camera.
Okay, we have Dope Kicks, Fly Chicks, Volume 2.
This guy
that's
thought
a
that
good
he was
name
going to
for
get some
a
promotion from me, but who would have known that?
He is getting promotion.
I hope he sees this.
I'm gonna check it out.
This is some like half box rolling papers off of
Is
it.
it for the earthy stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is a universal handcuff key. So
Oh!
this would be very valuable.
that to
to
Yeah,
carry
give that to Georgie.
around. This is a it's a can opener here.
Oh, that's a mic
Nice.
gift.
Yeah,
it's
Michael
only a
will put
mic
that
gift.
on his.
He'll have 32 of these
Like
things.
can?
Yeah.
Can.
Oh, there you go.
That's awesome.
Boom.
Oh wow.
That's nice.
Might be a
Awesome,
Rob
man.
gift. Mike's not
A
even
fan.
here.
And then lastly, we have something very cool, and I'd like to give a special thank you to the gentleman holding the boom mic right here, who his name's Nick.
Hi, Nick.
Thank you,
Yeah, who was kind enough to make these for us, for you guys. So